evening, everyone. My name is Nancy Almonte, and I'm the parent of Emilio Cheeks. He's a fourth grader at Park Avenue School. And I'm here tonight to bring up a couple of issues that concern me, issues that I feel that are fundamentally wrong and shouldn't be occurring at the school. I'll go into my first issue, which is I feel that there are biases at the school. I'll explain an incident that happened less than a year ago. My son was kicked repeatedly by another student in class. He told 3 teachers about the incident, the first being the one, his music teacher, which is where the incident occurred, and followed by his homeroom teacher and the student's teacher. And neither one of them felt it important enough to report to the principal's office that my son had been kicked repeatedly on his shoulder. The next day I called the school and I spoke to Mr. Crawford. He told me that he had not been made aware of the situation and that he would gather some information. Later that day, when my son came home from school, I asked him whether or not the student was in school that day, and he told me yes, that he was there the whole day. And I asked Mr. Crawford the following day that I felt as though he protected certain students more so than others. My son had been involved in similar incidents, and he had been suspended at least twice and pulled out of class. He denied protecting any child, and I further expressed my discontent and told him that he and I both knew that if it had been Emilio that kicked the child repeatedly, he would have been suspended. Last week, Mr. Crawford told my son that he would get arrested because of an incident that occurred where he innocently poked a student. This is the same student that had kicked him the year before. Again, I addressed my discontent with Mr. Crawford as to how he handled the situation, and I asked him if he understood the caliber of how the things that come out of his mouth resonate in the minds of children. I was furious that he threatened my son by telling him that he could get arrested if such an incident occurred again. The second issue that I would like to address is bullying my son has had to endure. This isn't bullying from other students, more so bullying from his teacher, Mr. Vasquez, who is his current teacher. I explained to Mrs. Stanton in September of 2011 that my son, among other students, was being called a coma head by his teacher.
Excuse me, if you want to give us a synopsis of whatever happened, we're going to ask you not to call out individual names.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. I explained to my son's principal that his teacher had been calling him and other students coma head. I explained that I was offended because my son is highly intelligent and I didn't find it appropriate for my son's teacher to belittle him and insult his intelligence. In fairness, I will share with you that his teacher apologized and has not called him a coma head since then.